Great. So welcome everyone. We appreciate your being here for today's Zoom session on how to facilitate your own cohort. And many of you know me, I'm Callahan. I am the Program Director for ActionCOACH Foundation, and I have been very instrumental in creating this YESS program that we have for young entrepreneurs, Smart Start. And today I have with me Cathy Reinhold, who is one of our board members for the foundation. She is an action coach out of Texas, and she is also our task force chair for the YESS Content and Student Engagement Task Force. So Cathy, with that, I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you. So let me just hear, Heather, what part of the world are you coming in from?
I am in Wisconsin.
Okay, welcome. And Devi said from India.
India,
Welcome.
yes.
Yes, all right.
Thank you.
And if anybody else pops in, Karen will be letting them in. I think we had 5 registered, so glad you two made it on time and ready to go. Let's do this.
Right.
You want to start with the PowerPoint? All right. So first of all, we're just going to talk briefly about the objectives, right? That we really want you to just get an idea of how this works, the YESS, Young Entrepreneur Smart Start program, as well as how you can become a facilitator, launch the program, and then we'll have time at the end for a wrap up with some Q&A. We always like to talk about our purpose and keep it simple with just igniting the spirit of entrepreneurism in youth worldwide. As we know, Action Coach is all about world abundance, and we want this for our youth all over the world. Great. Now, we always like to talk about what is it that we're doing for the world and the students. And Karen has a little sheet here that you may have seen, all right, about challenges and then the solutions. And as we talk about a couple of them, right, students maybe from low socioeconomic backgrounds don't really understand the demand and risk and high school dropouts. We want to attract those people as well as create a solution for them. And it comes with reshaping their mindset, which is really big, as we know, is as a coach, it's been happening a lot for myself as well as our clients. And then we have a couple more, if you move that up just a little bit, right? A little harder to read, put my glasses on, because a lot of times the smart kids, really smart kids, forget about the practical applications, and we want to challenge them with that. And as we look at the curriculum a little bit, so that the business and education provides the tangible real-world knowledge that demonstrates the impact of STEM and communication in their lives. So, Karen, you want to read this one?
Sure. So we know another challenge that the students often face is that those who are non-college bound often have limited prospects, which can be very discouraging for them. But let's face it, not every student is cut out for academia, right? So what happens to these kids? What we offer with the YESS program is the entrepreneurial training, which opens up alternative pathways and perspectives for them, enabling these students to thrive irrespective of their income or their grades. So that's what we want to do, is give them different opportunities. And at this point, what we would love to do is hear some of your reasons for doing the program, and why do you think you would like to introduce a YESS cohort into your community? And Devi, I'm going to start with you because your mic is open.
Okay. Right. So in India, actually, a lot of young people, they want to get into entrepreneurship, and they exactly do not have the proper guidance. So people are looking for guidance. In fact, a couple of days back, I was in a different city, And nowadays I keep talking about this YESS program, and um, uh, some institutes, they picked up this idea from me. They discussed internally, and they came back to me saying that they have an incubation center where they want to develop young entrepreneurs,
Right.
but they need guidance, you know. So in fact, one institute, they have incubation center where they have allowed three different institutes to bring in their own students. So they have about 160 students who are working on this. And there is another institute which is having 60 students, in-house 60 students who are in that incubation center. So they
Right.
all are looking for guidance. And I thought this is a good opportunity to, you know, promote the YESS program. It is a win-win situation. They get to know about this, and it becomes a future client for Action Coach. You know, these
Sure.
people, once they start, they become the
Yeah.
future client for the Action Coach.
Great.
That is the
I
idea
call-
of behind it.
I call that a win-win-win.
Yes,
Me too.
absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and
Heather,
actually,
how about you?
I just want to tell a quick story. Just this last week, one of our clients at Texas Pearland, Texas, has 3 sons. And 2 of them are very interested in following their parents' footsteps. So that's how we're going to talk to them last week about it. So,
Great.
Okay.
how about you, Heather?
So my why for doing it is my husband and I run a camp for at-risk youth, and their ages 12 to 17. And we want to create a program built around the YESS program to teach the youth how to build a business, that there are options out there for them so that when they age out of the foster care system, they have sustainable income set up and they can thrive within our community.
Love
I
that.
love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So we have some really good reasons for wanting to do this for our community. So let me jump right in and show you what the program looks like. And first of all, I can just basically tell you here. Boom, boom. Let me get my thing going here. So the program is basically, it's a 9-week course called YESS Business Basics. It's the 2.0 version because we've made some improvements to it on the second round already. It is a self-paced online course. Now, even though I say it's 9 weeks of study, we allow the students 12 weeks of access into the course. The back end, the final 3 weeks, we've allowed for, catching up, because sometimes kids might get sick, they have exams, what have you, they fall a little behind. We want to give them that additional time to complete all of the videos, the exams, and get their 3 main assignments in. We also have a student workbook now that we offer that is a complement for the program. And I'm going to show you that briefly in a moment as well. And then the last thing I want to say is, before we get into looking at the program, is while students can do this course on their own, if they don't have a local cohort, we have an option for that. We always recommend, whenever possible, that you do the program through local cohorts, preferably face-to-face, although some local cohorts do it virtually. But we all know that 80 to 85% of the students are going to benefit from that face-to-face time where you can check in with them, make sure they're understanding the concepts, and make sure that they're on track to finish on time. So with that, what I want to do is just give you a behind-the-scenes look at what the kids actually see when they go into the course. Alrighty. So what happens is the kids receive an enrollment email, and then they click on it and they go to their dashboard. And their dashboard kind of looks like this. Well, yeah. There we go. Okay, so their dashboard looks like this. They can see any communities, they can see any courses that they're involved in, and then they just click on that. But for our purposes right now, I want to show you what they see once they open up their dashboard. They go right into starting here. And when they start here, what they get, of course, they get the basic disclaimer that says, you know, you do need to, let me view this as a student. Okay, they get the basic disclaimer that says you do need to, you know, make sure that this is all, recognize that this is copyright protected. All right, and then that's going to take them into this brief navigation video that I've done. It kind of walks them through how the process works and how to plan for it. We also give them 2 opportunities to get to know Brad Sugars a little bit, since he's going to be their main speaker on all of the videos that they go through. And there's 72 videos in total throughout this course, but they're all short. They're like 4 to 10 minutes long. So the first video that they get to see on Brad is him speaking when he was 24 years old and already a millionaire. He was speaking at a conference. The second video they get to see is more recent, and that tells the full Brad Sugars story. We briefly introduced them to Josh Bardsley, who is one of our board members on the foundation, and he's a 26-year-old entrepreneur with about 50 employees and investments in 4 different businesses. And then this is where they can download the course workbook. The workbook is 60 pages long, so you know, some of them may not have the ability to print that out on their own. So that might be something that the group cohort facilitator can do for them, or the school can do for them, but they can also fill it out electronically in the PDF if they prefer. So they do have that option. The majority of the course, as you can see, we've got 9 weeks. Each of the weeks are themed. So what happens is when you open up the course,
about the wisdom that
you're going to get that 4 to 10 minute video where Brad Sugars talks about the concept. Then below it, you'll see the questions to ponder and an action assignment. The assignment is just something where we want them to start, you know, using the concepts that they're learning so that it gets cemented into their brains. So it might be something as simple as this physical representation here, right? Or it might be something where we ask them to go out into the community and interview a business owner, or maybe ask that business owner to mentor them. Or it might be interviewing their parents or playing a game and seeing how the players respond with each other, and kind of assessing what they learned from that. Now, the questions and the action assignments they'll also find in the workbook. So
a way
that will
forward. How do we
make it
fail ourselves
easier,
to success? Well,
because they get that information twice. So each of these is just like this. It follows the same basic pattern. So once they get into the rhythm of it, it all becomes pretty simple. And then at the end of each week, we have a discussion. So they just go to this one, they click up on discussion, and here's where they can go ahead and talk about their favorite lesson, what their favorite learning was, etc. Okay? And then each week we also have an exam. There's 8 questions. They just simply go through this, and while I'm talking, I'm going to go through it, and I'm not going to worry about my answers because I don't mind if I fail this. But the students do have to get at least 75% correct in order to move on to the next lesson, okay? So they need to make sure that they are learning the material. However, if they don't get at least 75%, it's just going to give them another opportunity to take the test. And they can take it as many times as they want, or they need to. Now, most of the time, I will tell you, they pass this in 1 or 2 times. I rarely see students that have to go to 3 times. But if they don't, like in this case, I only did 50%. It tells me I need 75% to pass. I just click on retake the quiz, and I can go back and do that. But before I do that, I can also look and see which questions I got right and which questions I missed. And if I need to, I can even go back and review the video so that I will know the answers the next time. I will also say that we have what I for want of a better word, I call it a cheat sheet for the teachers and facilitators. And in there, we have all the questions with the answers and the explanation for the answers. So if there is a student who's really struggling with one of these questions and getting past it, you can always help them by using that cheat sheet. So we have all of these programs that come in, and then what we start to do is at the end of week 2, we start to introduce the first assignment, which is a vision board.
Again, showcasing a vision
I have
board
a whole
here.
video here where they can see examples of other videos that their peers have done, and it explains some of the criteria for it. And then they go through that and they continue. The assignment
I'm
is
Brad Sugars, and these are the business basics.
until the end of week 4. And at the end of week 4, that's when they go in, and then they can actually upload this assignment. So it gives them all the same information again. They can rewatch that video to keep it fresh in their mind, but then they just create their document, upload it here. I will receive an email when they've uploaded that, and then I will review the assignment, and I either approve it if it met all the criteria, or I would reject it. Whenever I reject it, I make a note in there to the students to let them know what they need to work on before they resubmit it. And they can resubmit multiple times. So then we go into, we continue on, and at the end of week 5, they're introduced to the business plan. Everything else is, pretty much the same here. So the business plan, again, we have a video that walks them through the simple business plan template that we ask them to complete. And I tell them literally how to, what we're asking in each question and what we're looking for in each question. So if the students go through this, and not all of them will listen to the video, I have found, because I can tell when they make their submission. But if they go through that, they will have no problem with the business plan. So I can tell exactly which students have actually watched the video. But I would encourage facilitators to share that video with the students in class and then go through any remaining questions with them. I'm actually now recommending that anytime you're preparing them for the business plan, you have one business plan day where it's just a workshop where you go through the video and you have the kids actually fill out their business plans together, and then that way they can bring you over and ask you questions if they're having problems anywhere. And then the business plan is due the end of week 9. It's the same situation where they just go in and, they upload the business plan, submit it, and I review that. And then once I've approved their business plan, then we ask them to go on and do their video pitch assignment. And we give them some highlights on that. We also give them a short video that Josh did to help them prepare that. At the end, there's the next steps where we share with them what's going to happen after this, which is we do have a quarterly virtual graduation. Of course, we love it when you do your graduations locally. So we talk a little bit about that. We have a complimentary subscription to the YESS Club. And we also have a YESS bundle, which I will show you. So what happens is when the kids complete the course, it opens up a whole new area. We call this the carrots for the program. And the graduate bundle includes additional information. There's no exams. There's no requirements on this. This is all just if they want to take advantage of it. And they have access to this bundle for 6 months. So it's Buying and Selling Businesses, Entrepreneur 101, 30X Business, 30X Life, and some fun basic doodles, which are the same YESS Business Basics concepts they've already learned, but in a fun doodle version. This whole package is worth about $3,000 if you were to purchase it through Brett. So it's really a nice gift for the kids. Now, I want to show you the workbook. And we're very excited about this workbook for a lot of reasons. But the whole thing is, with the workbook, what we found is this gives facilitators an opportunity to see that the students are really doing the work. Before, when we just had it online, you don't really know if they're going through and answering the questions and all of that. But now you have a tool, you can check in with them and see, let me see where you are in your workbook. You know, have they answered the questions? Also, what's fun in the workbook is we have a lot of worksheets. So, for example, when we get to the financial pieces, there's worksheets that the kids can easily fill out. And I think this truly helps them in putting together some of the financial pieces for their business plan in particular, because we know that that's probably the assignment that the students struggle with the most, because just like the adults out there, there's a lot of people that just don't like to do math, you know, and they're a little intimidated by it. So we try to use the worksheets, and we try to get very visual here, which is also great for students who learn more kinesthetically, and also for the visual learners. So it's not just auditory anymore. And then it also reconfirms some of the information that we have when they're planning for their assignments. Okay, and we're working on now an answer key for this as well, that we will provide to just the teachers, so that, you know, it'll make it easier for you to assist the students. So that's the basic program there. I'm going to go back into here. Okay, and this will give you, this chart that I'm putting up on the screen now gives you a nice little overview of what the program looks like. So the first 4 weeks are really all about mindset, which we said is so important to the students. And then we go into week 5, which is wealth creation, which is information they will never get in school. Talks about everything from getting out of debt to how to invest. So it's not just about making a paycheck and paying your bills. It's about taking a percentage of that and saving it so you can start investing to truly change your future. And for a lot of kids that come from, you know, lower income families, they may not grow up with that mindset. So it's a really life-changing mindset for them. And then in week 6, we start to get into the business planning, through mastering the growth, through, you know, creating a vision for your company, mastering the money, mastering customer service in week 7, and kind of creating that special niche for your company. Week 8, we get into all the strategies for sales and marketing success. Week 9, we begin to talk about leveraging, building those teams and the systems in your company so you can leverage it and grow your company. And then, as I mentioned, weeks 10 through 12 are the catch-ups and next steps. And then you can see across the bottom of this chart where we begin to introduce each of the 3 assignments and when they're due. So, Cathy, why don't you talk a little bit about what it takes to become a facilitator in the YESS program?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of your commitment and your time to get certified. I'm pretty sure you guys are affiliated with an action coach, and they will sponsor you and anyone else in your facility, because again, it is a great value, as Karen already mentioned, for the kids, but for you also, it's $150 value for the course. So we ask that you complete the 4-hour YESS facilitator certification, as well as the business basics course online. Now, you don't have to take 9 weeks to do that. It can be done in about 2 weeks for you to really go through that, right? Anything else?
Yep.
Okay, and then just a brief, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Karen.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, just a brief requirements is getting that sponsor from the Action Coach and doing this. Yeah, we went through that.
Yeah, and we assume usually most of the people on this call already have a certified YESS Action Coach, or you are one. So let's talk about what you're going to learn in the YESS Facilitator certification, because this is a little different than our YESS Coaching certification, which we've been doing for about 1.5 years. In this group, we're talking to people who may not be familiar with all of the Action Coach concepts, right? So we're we start out, and Cathy will be talking about the Action Coach business principles and models that we teach the kids, and she'll be giving some helpful hints on how we teach that to students, which might be a little different than how we would present it to someone who's already a business owner and an adult. We talk about how you would establish and promote your cohort, and we'll talk to you about the different templates that we have available for you and where to find them. We'll go into some of the facilitation and engagement and assignment best practices that we've created over the year and a half that the program has been in existence. We will also give you detailed instructions on how to prepare for your first class, where you introduce the concepts and the expectations to the students and help get them all of this into their calendars in the proper place. And we have a PowerPoint template for you with a note with the notes for talking points in that. And then we'll talk about how to prepare for all of the future classes for the full 9 weeks of the course, and specifically how to help the students prepare for their assignments, so they get approvals right away instead of having to go through a series of rejections. We're also going to talk about how to prepare for the graduation, whichever version of that you go with. You could have them go into our virtual quarterly graduation, which we do from the global office. But like I said, anytime you can do this on a local level, it's awesome. And then we talk about preparing them for post-graduation as well, because this course should be the beginning, not the end, right? It's only the beginning. So we want to get them into a loop with YESS Club and with some of the other carrots that we have out there for them, and have them continue their entrepreneurial journey after they completed the YESS Business Basics course. And then lastly, we'll be talking about some just general support that we provide for you, as well as the coach, your coaching sponsor, and some of the reporting we have. For example, we have monthly progress reports that I send out to everyone, so you can see how far along in the course each of the students in your class are, and that helps you help them. So what are the next steps?